to share with you something that is a pet peeve of mine in our industry. And this is not to bash people, but this is a reality of what it takes to hustle or build a client base in the aesthetics industry. Monday was a holiday here. My husband and my son had the day off together, which is actually pretty rare. My husband usually has to work even on like national holidays and stuff. So he and my son decided to make appointments to go to a barber. Now, they had to make this appointment about a month ago, and it was a Christmas gift that my husband was doing for my son. It was a guy's day out kind of thing. My husband was going to get a straight razor shave. He's never had one. He was super excited for it. My husband can't grow facial hair to save his life. I mean, he can grow it, but it don't look good. Sorry, babe. And my son has never been to a barber. So my husband cut his hair for years. And now my son goes to my bestie hairstylist for amazing haircuts. But this was something that they wanted to do. Now, we're all in the beauty industry. Come Monday morning, the day of the appointment, the barber canceled on him. The look on my husband's face when he told me, he was so disappointed. He was just really looking forward to this. We talked about it all week. He was so excited to have that time together. In our industry, if you call out sick from work, there's going to be things that are going to happen. If you've been in this industry for a long time and you have a very loyal client base, most of them are going to come back. But if you're just getting started out, you're calling out sick or not showing up to work for whatever reason, because they're out there, the ramifications is those people may not ever rebook with you. The people, maybe you had some new clients, they may not rebook with you. That was their time off. They scheduled it. We're very, very busy people. I'm super freaking busy as a business owner, a mom, a wife. I don't have time to keep rescheduling appointments. Now, if I'm a loyal client of somebody, I will often reschedule. That's just kind of the nature of it. I trust them. I've built that relationship with them. Now, please don't drop a bunch of hateful comments on me about this. If you are truly sick, I understand. Take the time off, rest, get well. Okay? But if you got the sniffles, or your dog ran out and you're chasing him down the road, or if that's just your excuse because you don't have your act together, because you opened up the door, if you're irresponsible, clients aren't going to come back to you. Now, I run a tight ship at my spa. All my girls will probably tell you that. And the other day, I shared this story with them because I saw the disappointment in my husband's face and my son's face. They really, really were looking forward to this day together. And if you're offering somebody a facial or even a Brazilian wax before they're going on vacation, like they don't have time to reschedule. You know, if you're calling off one day, how many days are you calling off? Now, like I said, don't be hating on me if you're really sick. You know, like if I have a fever, I'm staying home. If I'm throwing up, I'm staying home. If I have the sniffles, my butt's getting to work. If I have a mild cold, my butt's getting to work. I'm putting a mask on, I'm wearing sanitizer. We kind of live in this day and age where that's pretty normal for things. Do you want to build a business? Do you want to build a client base? Those are questions that you need to ask yourself. How bad do you want it? If you're a service provider in this industry, I would love to read your comments about your 2 cents on this. I don't think I'm off in left field. A couple years ago, I had a couple appointments with a lash artist in town. She did great work. It was, you know, the place wasn't super clean. So I was like, already strike one against that. I think one appointment she needed to reschedule with me, and I'm like, oh, here we go again. Like I know this behavior, especially with new clients. The last, and you had to prepay. So she required payment before the appointments. The last appointment I ever had scheduled with her was pre-scheduled. It was a super busy day for me. It was like I was her first appointment in the morning. And I love those appointments because I get it done, and then I can, take my day, and because my days can get away from me. They get really crazy with appointments, meetings, phone calls, people walking into my office. Liz, my phone's binging all day long. It's just the nature of being busy. Anyway, she sends me a text, maybe an hour or two, maybe like an hour and a half or something before the appointment saying, hey, can I move your appointment back by like 15 minutes or half an hour? I think it was like a half an hour. I'm like, okay, sure. I'm like, it is getting kind of close, but I'm like, okay, I can still time it out and rearrange my day in my morning to make this work. So I show up. She's not there. At the time, I mean, I'm always like usually about 5-10 minutes early anyway. So 5 minutes before, she's not there. The time comes around, she's not there. And I can't remember if she was sending me texts or what at this point, saying she was running late or whatnot. I don't remember. It was a couple of years ago. And I remember sitting out in the common area, and there was another business owner opening up her store. She looks at me and she goes, oh, you waiting on Joanna? And I'm like, yep. She's like, okay. And she just had, like, literally she was like nodding and had that tone in her voice that she sees that this is repetitive behavior from this service provider. I hope you're not one of those people. I'm not here to bash you. I am here to say that if you are wanting to make a good living in the aesthetics industry, in the salon industry, if you're a hairdresser, cosmetologist, you want to show up. If you're running late, some people may tolerate it. I mean, my hairdresser is usually late, okay? Her last appointment, she was on time. And I know this about her. She's also a good friend of mine. It doesn't make it an excuse, but she still always shows up. She always still gives me a haircut. She can rush and get me in and out. She knows my timeline and she knows that I'm very busy. But we also have a friendship that goes years back. I'm still in, I'm still out. I can plan for it. But I don't allow that to happen with most appointments. My chiropractor knows if I'm not seen on time, I will walk out. I have other appointments to go to. These are luxury services that people are paying for. I'm gonna damn well, excuse my French, should make sure I'm showing up. If somebody's to work for me, that is a standard that I have for every one of my team members. I'm not trying to be mean or rude to them. I'm trying to make them a living. I am trying to make sure that my employees that I deeply care about are servicing the customers that I also deeply care about at a standard of luxury. I got a little joke, a little saying that says, you can be the Chevy or you can be the Lexus. My spa is the Lexus. I'm going to act like the Lexus. I'm going to show up at work with my makeup on. My hair's going to be tied back. Okay, I'm getting ready for work this morning. I'm in my uniform. I got just a little bit of makeup on. I don't need much because I take care of my skin. But I'm going to show up on time for my appointments. We like to run on time. I recently had an employee that was running over on some of her appointments. And I told my manager, I'm like, this needs to be addressed. I go, I don't know what's going on. I think at one point she actually had a clock in her room that was running behind or something, like 5 or 10 minutes. And I'm like, okay, well, let's fix that. But the reality is she was trying to really service those clients that were in her treatment room. And I said, no, if they're 5 minutes late, you don't go over 5 minutes with them. I go, we have that rule too. Okay, unless if they're, we have some exceptions. But if they're abusing us, we're not going to give in to that. And we don't want our clients after them to wait and suffer. I had an employee that was working for me years ago. We recently had a client come back in and say to us, I stopped coming here because that service provider was always running behind. And we were very well aware of it. And we addressed it. And the person no longer works for us. I don't want to be that mean person, but that's the reality, is that we lost a high ticket customer and we had to win them back. And we did. I'm glad that she told us that. So now I can share that experience with my team, my current service providers, future service providers, and also for you watching this video. I hope you guys don't feel offended by this. And if you are, you need to take an internal look at yourself. I try to look inside myself about the things that I say and I do. And I'm very critical of that. And how can I be better? And I will take that and use that for a positive experience. I'm guilty. I screwed up an appointment once years ago, and I have never forgotten it. It was at a time I don't normally come in. I was squeezing somebody in, and I totally forgot I needed to be at work at that time. Like, it was for a 4:30 appointment, and I normally didn't show back up till 5. I had to take a break in the middle of the day to get my kid from school. I was on my way to work as I was getting this message. Well, guess what? That person has never come back. I even offered a free facial, and she wouldn't come back. I learned this lesson personally. I hope it's a lesson for you and up-leveling our industry, that you can have a successful business, because that is what I want ultimately for you, is to kick butt in the treatment room, kick butt in business, and honestly make people feel and look absolutely amazing and confident within themselves. I'll see you guys on the next video.